Welcome back to my channel. So today is a clean and decorate with me video. As you can see, my house is a mess. I went shopping late last night. I didn't even put that away. I've got some boxes here. I was planning to do a organization video, but that's going to have to wait for another day. These boxes I bought at IKEA. They were not cheap, but I like to buy sturdy boxes that I can use in the future. And then we've got some Chinese New Year things to put away, as well as tidying up the downstairs sitting room, which I'm going to redecorate in this video. So stay tuned and let's get started. So the first things first, what I like to do usually when I tidy up, and you're going to see my dining room, it is also a huge mess at the moment. So I always like to start with the room that is the easiest to get back into order, and that is often our downstairs sitting room. It is our formal sitting room, so we don't eat here, we don't drink here. The kids do play, but it is a lot easier to maintain. And as you can see, I'm putting away the red blanket and the red cushion. I am pretty tired of the color now. I've had it for a couple of months since Christmas. It's time to put it away and restyle the sitting room. And I use a lot of blue. As you can see, I have a very moody blue on the wall. I love this color. It has a sort of powdery blue during the day, and then in the night it gets really dark and lush, and I absolutely love it. Then I went on to cleaning the coffee table. I had some crumbs on it after my wreath had been there for a couple of months. And yes, it is a chest. It is an old chest, over 100 years old. It is a family heirloom for my father-in-law up in the north of Sweden. I saw it in his barn. I had to have it, brought it home. My husband wanted to paint it. I won that fight, and I'm so glad he didn't, because it just adds to the charm and character of the chest, and it really is a great place for me to store all the extra things that I have for entertaining. I love throwing big parties and entertaining. I don't do it as often as I used to, but I like to have a place for all those things as well. Then it was time to start some styling. So I brought out my coffee table books that I had put away for a while, and then this antler that moves around my home just to create a little bit of visual interest, and this tea light holder. It's amber color. I haven't pulled up into the painting, but the painting behind the sofa, we do have a bird with the amber colored legs on it. It really helps to tie in the color from the painting. And then I needed to create a little bit of height on my coffee table. It was looking a bit flat, so I used these black candle stands, which are really inexpensive from IKEA, and I was able to create a little bit of height, which also gave it a lot of visual interest and allowed me to create some amber lighting in my sitting room, considering we are still in winter here in Sweden. It's cold, it's damp, it's gloomy still. I know some parts of the States and other countries are experiencing spring. In Sri Lanka, it's just summer all year round. I love these seasons here in Sweden, so I'm not going to complain, but it is definitely still winter here, and we do need our cozy mood lighting, even though this video, it looks quite bright and light. So I'm just changing up my throw pillows. I know I've seen on YouTube, a lot of people are just like me, an obsession with throw pillows. My husband thinks it's really funny. He always draws to a episode in a British comedy called Coupling, where they discuss throw pillows on a sofa. If you haven't seen Coupling, it is really a good series to watch. So this is the end product. I did move around a few more of the cushions. I really take my time with that. Sometimes I walk past and I would think, oh no, that needs a switching up. So that's what I usually do. But I did land on this, and it looks really clean, really neutral. I love the ambient lighting that we still have in the home, and it was so refreshing to bring out my coffee table books and just create something different. Now that Christmas and Chinese New Year is over, I've taken away the red because I don't use red for Valentine's Day, so I didn't need it any longer, and as well as I just couldn't handle it. It was just too much. I've had it for 2 months and I'm over it, and it was such a relief to my eyes. I don't know how people have red all year round in their homes. So this blanket is from a company called Lexington. They have a beautiful homeware as well as clothing. It is sort of a Hamptons type style shop, and their vibe really sits in well with my home. We are very transitional, our home, like traditional pieces to mix with some modern pieces. So that's why I like shopping there. And as you can see, I headed over to the chaos that was my dining table. I've got a Chinese New Year lantern still hanging up, some red flowers that I did for Christmas that are still hanging around because of Chinese New Year. I didn't put them away, but now it's time to clear all that up. But first and foremost, I got myself a bag, and I like to have that on hand when I clear up. If I do find something that needs to go upstairs, like this yellow t-shirt, my youngest son hates getting wet. So every time he gets wet, he immediately takes off the t-shirt, and then it just sits where it has been taken off. So I put that in the bag to go upstairs. And then, as you can see, I am just cleaning the placemats. Now, these placemats are faux leather. I really like them because they allow me to make an impression on my table. So when I have guests coming over or people just dropping by, we like to use these placemats, but they also are very easy to keep clean. You just need to wash them down or clean them off with a damp cloth. As you can see, I pulled all of them out and I used my homemade spray with just some water and some essential oils, vinegar and some soap, and I gave them all a good clean. They really needed it. I hadn't done it for a while, so that's what I'm doing here. And once I cleared most of it away, now I'm putting the computer away. My husband and his friends like to play some games. They usually play 3 to 4 times a week. So we do have the computer out a lot of the time. We don't have a separate room. And I also prefer him to play there. So when I'm in the kitchen, I can hear them. And I am also a part of the interaction. And you are not sitting in your room alone. That is a really good tip for you parents. I am a Montessori teacher by profession, so I work with children, but I really very strongly believe that, you know, you have to strike a balance between your screen time and your daily lives with your children. And I think one of the great ways that you can limit screen time is actually having them enjoy their screen time in open social areas and not in their rooms. I don't allow my children to have their social media or their computers or iPads in the room, very rarely, just because it is good to have them out in the open so that they're not enclosed and you can keep an eye on what they are watching. Now over here I was just cleaning up. There was some things stuck. I like to use my dough cutters here. They are plastic. They don't hurt my table, and my table's got grooves in it. So it was in need of a clean. My husband was sick, so he couldn't polish it, but usually he likes to polish the table and he really keeps it glowing and looking brand new. When we got this table, it was a new modern table. You can see we've got metal legs at the bottom. These chairs don't particularly go with these tables. They are antique chairs, also from the house up in the north. We had the table that went with it, but that table was damaged in certain areas, and we really needed a large table that looked nice all year round, and I didn't have to put a tablecloth on it. So we bought this table and my husband matched it to the chairs. They are really beautiful chairs. I know it is quite popular now to have different colored chairs or different types of chairs to your dining table, but my husband really enjoys having a set as a dining set, and we might eventually change it up, but for now it works really well and I absolutely love it. It holds a lot of people and we sit and we have lots of meals and fun times here, playing games and enjoying each other's company. we are now just going to hoover everything. I'm just giving it a very light hoover. I do have a cleaner who comes once a month. It is a luxury that we afford ourselves. I do have to clean throughout the month, but at least once a month she comes and she gives the bathrooms and all of that a really good clean. So I just really need to maintain it, especially because we're in Sweden. It doesn't get dirty as often. So I put away that Chinese lantern. As you saw, I just pulled the thing in the center and then I folded it up, and then it was time to work on these flowers. Now in hindsight, I should have done this before I hoovered and cleaned my table, but we're just going to go with it for now. So I took out all these flowers. They are fake. They are very long. I did fold them up and then I put them into this vase with a dishcloth as well as another vase in the middle there just to keep the flowers together. You will see when I take it out, and then I put some moss on the top to make it look more natural. So I'm putting the moss away in a Ziploc bag, a great way to store it. Took out the dish towel, and as you can see, I've got a canister there in the pot because the pot was quite wide and I wanted the flowers to sit quite tightly together. So then I just hoovered all the bits and pieces that had fallen off and just gave the pot as well a hoover, put everything back, gave the table again a light clean, and then it was time to add my antique bowl. As you can see, I'm showing you it has broken before and they have mended it. It is also a piece that I found up in the north. It was just sitting in my father-in-law's barn. I found it, I fell in love, and I just had to have it. He was a little reluctant to give it to me, but I just couldn't resist. And it was blue in color. We already had the blue up on the wall. It was just meant to be. This painting was given to us by my husband's aunt. Most of our paintings, big paintings that we have at home, are all painted by her. She's quite a famous painter in Gothenburg. So she gave us that one. And now it was time to just take away the red runner that I had for Chinese New Year and bring my console and entryway back to normal, which really doesn't take me very, very long because I have a setup that I follow almost every time I change up my console. And now I'm just putting everything back and I'm taking away these red berries that I had used for Christmas from the wreath I had in my sitting room. I used them to create this sort of decor piece for Chinese New Year. And I was watching a YouTuber called Valentina from the House of Valentina, and she was talking about these twigs that we have here in Sweden, that in Scandinavia, they like to use natural elements in their decor. And yes, we do. That was a twig, and that's exactly what she was talking about. I have this wreath that stays on my mirror all year round. I did just switch it up because I had something else there for Chinese New Year, as you saw. But it's going to go back there. And everything just needed a clean and a quick tidy up. And voila, we were done. 4.5 hours later. Yes, I did do the kitchen as well. I didn't film it. I just thought it would be too tedious for you guys to see. Let me know if you really would have liked me to have filmed it. But everything's looking clean and fresh. Everything's got a new look. I'm really enjoying the sitting room and everything back to normal. A simple color palette, really pleasing on the eye. So I'm really thrilled with it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.